All right, so finish off with rapid reaction. A lot of topics, a little bit of time. Let's go, Jay.
Oh, yeah. New Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs says he did not force his way out of Minnesota. What do you think?
I kind of think he did. I mean, it never really seemed like he was happy there, and he made it public more than once that he did want to be traded. I'm not sure what he would call that, but like a lot of players recently, it sure seemed like he forced his way out. San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich referred to Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic as a reincarnation of Larry Bird. It's pretty high praise, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can't get much more high praise than that. Larry Bird is a top 10 player, with multiple championships. So that sets the bar pretty high. And I guess I'll go the route of, what I told Dak Prescott not too long ago. If you want to be that level, you better win something more than a first round series. 76ers point guard / power forward Ben Simmons has been ruled out indefinitely after suffering a partially dislocated kneecap on Wednesday. What's your reaction?
I don't have much of one. I had little faith in Philly from the start. Simmons really hasn't done a whole lot in this bubble in the restart. It's really been Embiid that's been taking over this 40 and 20 games and all that stuff. But even if Simmons does come back, I don't have much of an expectation for them. Los Angeles right-hander Shohei Ohtani still hopes to be a two-way player in the majors despite the arm issues that have plagued him so far. You have any recommendations for the Halos?
Yeah, I think if there's another arm injury issue like this next year, you got to shut this two-way thing down. It just doesn't appear that it's going to be a thing. I know it was a big deal, coming out of Japan, with the 2018 season. It's just not working, and you're just hurting yourself right now with all these injuries. They're going to have to shut this thing down eventually. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin described quarterback Ben Roethlisberger's velocity as excellent in a Zoom call earlier today. Does that news make you more optimistic about Big Ben this season?
I think the bigger problem with Big Ben lately has been, one, him being on the field, and also who is throwing it to and who they happen to play for at the time, much more than how fast he's throwing the ball. Kevin Durant says he sees the Clippers defeating the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals. That sounds pretty familiar, huh?
Oh, yeah. KD he's probably not paying attention to me, but this is what I've been saying since the preseason. So I appreciate KD getting on the bandwagon and, listening to some of the wisdom that I'll be giving you from time to time. But, yeah, this is it's a no-brainer. That's still where I'm at. I appreciate KD for having my back on this one. Florida State defensive tackle Marvin Wilson says sitting out for this season as a protest is the easy way out. What do you make of those comments?
Yeah, big respect to the big fella, big defensive tackle, only good player on Florida State's roster, it appears. But a lot of these guys that are sitting out for the college football season, they've also been really critical of the season being played at all. And a lot of them are really high profile, top draft picks that we just talked about. And they can afford to sit because they can they're going to be first round picks and be first round graded. So they don't have to worry about it. Wilson is one too, but he's setting a different example, and he's not just going to settle and rest on his laurels and say, I'm going to kick my feet up and get ready for the draft. So I like that. I like the example he's setting there. Atlanta Braves right-hander Mike Soroka is out for the season after suffering a torn right Achilles Monday night. Is that a big loss?
It is a big loss. I think he looks like to be the best pitcher on that staff right now. They didn't have a great staff to begin with. They also had Mike Foltynewicz. They DFA'd him pretty quickly this season. So not having Soroka, that's a significant loss. Going to be a lot of pressure on the rest of those guys to pick up the slack with him not being there. Texans wide receiver Brandon Cooks says he's not worried at all about his concussion history. Are you worried?
If I was Brandon Cooks, I would be extremely worried. And honestly, I'm worried that he isn't worried. Last one tomorrow night in the bubble is the Celtics and the Raptors. Who you got?
I'd love to say the Celtics, but we talked about it earlier. I'm not comfortable with them right now. The Raptors defense and how they look, I think that'll be the difference. I think the Raptors win that one.
All right, that concludes today's Drink of Wisdom. I'm Cody Ward.
I'm Jay Wise, and remember, make tomorrow better than today and make today better than yesterday. We'll see you next time.